And good morning from Scotty Ray and Candace. I was just sitting here thinking, boy, it'd be a great time for a biscuit.
I had almonds.
Almonds?
If you have not had the toasted coconut flavored almonds.
No, I can't say
Oh my gosh, they're good. Do you like Almond Joys?
Yeah, Almond Joys are good.
Okay, it tastes like an Almond Joy without the chocolate, which I know sounds crazy, but it has that taste, that flavor.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. But
good stuff, huh?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they're good for just to kind of keep me from starving to death.
But I was thinking of something more meaty that's not on a diet.
Oh,
like
I know.
a good bacon, egg, cheese sandwich or something like
Biscuits
that.
and gravy.
Oh, have mercy.
Sounds good.
It's what makes America go round and round with a cup of coffee.
I don't eat any, though. I was thinking I was doing a good thing, though, by eating almonds, and then I started looking at the carbs and the how many carbs they had and how many, I guess it's the toasted and the flavoring on them or something.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with staying physically fit and doing everything to stay in the best shape that you can. But, I watch a lot of people that their lives are just really miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't get to eat. They stay in a gym probably 8 hours out of the day to keep that firm. And I'm okay with being just a little bit chunky to enjoy life a little bit more.
Oh,
Now,
gosh.
I do need to lose some.
Well, it's frustrating. I don't know how men feel about it, but as a woman, I guess just the getting older, it just comes with age. I don't know. But it's like when you don't eat a ton.
And you still gain
weight.
weight.
And you don't snack all the time, but it just like what you do eat makes you gain weight. So I don't know. I guess I could eat water.
But there are. Am I right in saying there's metabolism of some people that just makes you, no matter what, you look at a biscuit and gain 2 pounds?
I mean, I've always been real thin, pretty thin. I mean, I always didn't have a problem with gaining weight or anything. I could eat whatever I wanted until I hit my middle 40s, and then it's just like that's over with.
There's a lot of things that change around 40.
I think hormones play into it. I don't know. But I am going to try to eat better.
Well, I wish you luck with that.
Thank you.
Keep some meat on you, though. Don't lose too much. I'm worried
I
about
don't want to be like, I've never been that, oh, God, I'd be skinny type. I mean, I've never been that. But when your clothes don't fit, used to.
I know.
Well, used to, you'd lay out your clothes. Oh, that's cute. I'm going to wear that today. Now it's just like, what can I fit in to where I can breathe?
I totally get that. I got to buy some new breeches.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. I'm gonna have to. This pandemic made mine just not fit for some reason. I don't understand it.
We keep blaming it on the pandemic.
Yeah, why not? Well, we mentioned yesterday. Maybe you've seen the pictures already. The Meridian Police Department has 2 new officers, and they're going to be Blaze and also Maverick. And I thought we'd show you some of the pictures of those 2 here as we pull this up. Here is one of them getting saddled. I don't know the difference between the 2.
Yeah, I don't either. I think there's the coloring difference, but
they are big horses. Those are,
and I got to see them in person the other day. They were pretty. Yeah, I had gone out to the crossings, like isn't that the crossroads?
Meridian Crossroads.
Yeah, and anyway, I had gone out there, and they came by, and I thought, what is this? Because I had not seen it, and I just thought it was really neat.
Yeah, they'll be a part of monitoring downtown, patrolling it. They'll be a part of parades, and anytime there's something big going on, and kids love horses is one of the things that they brought these back for.
And they're beautiful horses,
they are.
Too. I love Clydesdales. I guess that's what they are, right?
Yeah. Imagine how much them old boys can eat a day. It's probably still cheaper than fuel, but...
Yeah, you'd hate for one of those to step on your foot, too.
Oh, boy. Gosh. So, again, congrats to the Meridian Police Department for a little addition there. That's a pretty big deal. It
is. It's
neat thing.
Kind of brings back,
Yeah.
I don't know what you'd call it. It makes you feel
young again,
nostalgic or something.
There you go. Back when the streets were brick in the city of Meridian.
Yeah.
Don't forget this, Candace, because I want you to be where and what you got to do this weekend. Spring forward come Sunday morning.
Okay.
Because you'll be early for church if not.
Okay.
It's sometimes tough to remember to do all that.
Thank goodness our phones set the time automatically.
Yeah, I remember the day it didn't know.
Oh, I know, and plenty of people were late or early somewhere,
That's right.
So,
I was trying to see what else was shaking that, let's see here. Now, all that's old news, nothing shaking big there as we go down through that list of things. Well, the weekend is really close now, and I want to bring this up. Let me pull this up over here. Let's talk about weather just a second of what's coming over the weekend. The worst of the weather is going to be to the northwest of Meridian. I don't want anybody to think that it's going to be on top of Meridian unless something changes in the next little bit. But right now, it's expected to be to the northwest of us. The National Weather Service put this out early this morning. Now, from Natchez line up to Greenwood will be like a number 1 area. The number 2 area is just to the west of there, from Greenville to Cleveland, back down to Arkansas, and these areas here in Bastrop, Louisiana.
This is for Sunday?
Yes, Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. We are going to get rain. It'll be after dark. We've got about a 70% chance of rain, but we're not expected to get the bad stuff that could cause tornadoes. Now, it could be over that way. And again, it is Mother Nature. Anything can happen, and it shift, but everything looks to be around Oklahoma City and those areas, and this is going to be the tail end of it as it comes across the south. So we look okay for right now.
What are we looking for tomorrow and Saturday?
Oh, it's good-looking weather. As we move into Friday, we're going to have sunshine and 81 for a high. A little fog early in the morning, 54 tomorrow night. Saturday, sunshine and 82. And at this point, there's no mention of the gust. So you could actually go out and not lose a piece of clothing.
Okay.
Here the last couple of days, it hadn't been skirt day down at the courthouse. I don't know if you've noticed that. That used to be the big joke, is watch everybody trying to hold on to the skirt going into the courthouse when the wind whoops.
Yeah. Yesterday, I guess it was so windy.
It was.
It was very windy yesterday. I didn't know what the weather was going to do, when I first went out, and it was so windy yesterday morning. But we've got baseball practice tomorrow evening, our first little practice for my little one.
So y'all have to go out and find out what position everybody's going to take that thing, try out, so to speak.
It's the first one. I guess everybody meets everybody, and, but my son is so excited. He is so excited about it. He has asked me, Mama, what team are we playing? And I'm like, son, it's just practice.
Well,
but we went
as
to
a
get
kid, it is.
Oh, yeah, we went and got his bat the other day, and he had gotten his glove, but he wanted a batting glove. You know what I'm talking about, the little gloves you put on when you go to bat?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I got to have one, Mama. I got to have one. I said, oh, goodness. Because when they're little like that, it's just more, it's a hassle trying to get that little glove on before they go bat. I don't know. Anyway.
That'll be your job.
He's excited, so. And I'm looking forward to him.
And so many people missed out on it last year.
I know. We signed up and didn't get to play. So it's a lot of things, though, this year. Like my oldest son, they're not able to have a prom this year. Still. And I don't understand it. I don't understand schools in. They've had, lead outs.
The mandate has been lifted.
Yeah, and they still can't have a senior prom. And he didn't get to have a junior prom. So he's not, they've not had a prom at all in the last, or they won't.
It's not, they don't have those on school grounds anymore either.
Well, I don't know now how they do that.
They didn't when I was in school.
Yeah, they didn't when we were in school either. I don't think they do.
So it wouldn't.
But it's still a school functioned.
So it falls under that?
Yeah, it does. And they said that, parents could get together, which I would love. That would be great if we could, but this is kind of like pushing time, So, anyway, it'd be a good thing, because I know I had heard that maybe Philadelphia parents were doing that for their kids up there. Mm-hmm.
And that's the way to handle it.
But it can't be affiliated at all, and it has to be, you have to state that it is not affiliated. And so one of the, a little newsletter they emailed out to the parents was that parents can get together and have their own, but you have to put it on the thing that is not affiliated at all with schools or Lauderdale County schools.
I'm sure it costs about the same thing. At the end of the day, by the time you rent a little place.
Yeah.
And
I just think it'd be good to have them something.
Or an outside event somewhere.
Right. So yeah. Anyway. But I think today Biden is supposed to speak. Did you hear that?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's supposed to speak this afternoon sometime. I'm not sure about the time.
So it's been 49. He's knocking on 50 days of not doing anything.
Right. And today, I guess it's the anniversary of the pandemic beginning. And so they're going to have him on there giving a speech. And I'm sure it'll be from a teleprompter. I'm sure it'll be, I'm sure they've had him to.
He's not going to do too much thinking on his own there.
Yeah. Still no questions, I'm sure, though. They're not allowed to answer any questions, so. Because no telling what he'd say. He might say.
That's true.
Where am I at?
That would not shock me in the least, a little bit. Good morning to Joyce Godwin watching this morning. Mm-hmm. Also, good morning to Joyce Poole, Linda Jane Lunsford. Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you also. She's got her little, what do you call those images? How do you say that word?
Emojis.
Now, anybody ever looked at the spelling of that and it just don't look like that's what it says?
Yeah. But yeah, she's got her little smiley face.
Yeah.
Cups of coffee.
Sandy White is up stirring today. Glad to have you, girl. And she missed the weather update. Oh, I'm so sorry. So that's where we are. I hope you caught the tail end there of what to expect.
Yeah.
But it's going to start when it starts raining on Sunday. Pretty much every day next week has rain chances in it. So if you have outside events that you want to do, make sure to take care of that Saturday and during the daytime on Sunday, because after that, could be a shower at any time.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. This is, and I saw this, as I looked through the things that happened on this date, I thought, Candace is going to be so excited. This was like her man. She looked up to him.
Goodness.
She couldn't wait till Saturday evenings to sit down in front of the television and watch a Lawrence Welk, a one, a two, and a tree.
My grandparents watched this all the time, and I never understood why. I was like, really, I have to sit here? Because we'd be shelling peas. Or, I'd have to help shell peas, and they'd sit there with their 5-gallon bucket sitting there to throw, and I'd have to help, and I'd have to sit there and watch that.
I had to forcefully do that. But I guess what it does, that generation, when it came on in the 50s, in 1955, the big band era had not been that long ago past. And they held on for about 30 years there doing it, and to where probably most of that audience had faded away that liked big band. But it was the tap dancing folks and the women in the dresses and the jumping around.
Oh, I know.
And it bored me to death. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I stayed at my grandparents' a lot, especially like in the summer when we were out of school and stuff. My mom was working and my dad was working. But anyway, I sat through that and the stories, which was the soap operas,
Yep.
Mrs.
Chancellor.
But I always loved being at my grandparents' house, and I miss that.
Slower time.
Yeah.
I did not know that this gentleman had died before this song come out. I had no clue of this. It was 1968 that Sitting on the Dock of the Bay went gold. He got killed 2 weeks before it was released.
Goodness,
He recorded the song and was killed in a plane crash, and then they released it, and then it went gold. So
He didn't get to see that. That's
no, he
awful.
didn't. But that is such a huge song, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
Yeah.
But
Watching the time rolled away.
And I guess it's because I didn't listen to that type of music, but I know that song.
Oh yeah, I love that song. It's a mellow
This
song.
was more up my alley. I remember being a kid, and they even had a movie about it later on, but this was in the Electric Horseman soundtrack. My heroes have always been cowboys. Ed Bruce, I think, wrote the song. Willie sang it. It went to #1. And then if you remember, the movie came out, My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys, with Scott Glenn. Boy, I love that show.
I have not seen the movie, but I know the song.
And and it has the basic story of the old cowboy who's done the rodeo all along. He ain't got no money. He's broke, and he has to come back home and take care of his dad, and his family's kind of mad at him because he's never done anything in life other than rodeo. But it was good.
I'll have to go back and watch that too.
And it deals with that
make me a list
of movies that you need to watch.
I know when I get to sit down and watch one.
I'm probably one of very few Americans that go, I just never got that. It didn't interest me. The Beatles, they were not my thing. But there are tons of people who loved him, that just ate the Beatles up. And it was on this date that Sir Paul was knighted. And I guess that's where the Queen touches you with the sword and you become a knight.
I remember when that went on.
Do you?
I do remember when that happened. But I was thinking, I didn't even know they did stuff like that anymore. But I guess it's a different world over there.
Elton John was knighted, if I remember right.
What does that mean, though, to be knighted?
You get touched with the sword, and I don't think you become a Three Musketeer, but it's like it's a title.
Yeah, I knew it was probably a title. I just didn't know what. Do they get special treatment after that? Do they get some kind of a? I don't know.
It is definitely a dignitary status in England to be knighted. And of course, I've always loved those. But you ever watched any of those Three Musketeer movies?
The funny ones.
Well, what's his name was in it?
Funny?
They had some jokes in it. What's his name? Charlie Sheen. He was in one of them.
Oh, no,
and that was a great movie.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't. I don't know.
One for all and one. How does it go?
All for one and one for all.
Yeah, that's it. Did you ever notice how I get those little statements sometimes mixed up? Oops. I don't always get them right. Let's see here. And I'm going to try to play the video on this. This happened in the last couple of days here. Have you seen this about the kid that was killed during a robbery by the Oklahoma City cops?
No, I have not seen that.
All right, here's the story. 5 cops are up for first-degree manslaughter charges for shooting dead a 15-year-old. They shot him 13 times. Mm-hmm. He was robbing a gas station. They get called to the scene. He's climbing out of the window, and they tell him to put down his gun. Let's go down and look at this. He does have a gun.
Yeah.
Here he is. He steps out. He's got his hands in the air. He's placing the gun on the ground. He then reaches in his back pocket while they got guns on him, tell him he's reaching for a cell phone. They don't know that.
Why would you reach for a cell phone, though,
Good
at
question.
that moment?
Here's the video. Let's see if we can make this work and play this for everybody to see what happened to him.
Well, the district attorney is
Let's move this up a little bit.
Where's he at?
This is a different camera angle of the original one I watched. And he's on the other side of the gas pumps there, and it's just not going to show it on this one. And this is the little guy here that got shot. Now, what is weird about Oklahoma is the guy that was with him that was robbing the store also, it's weird how the law works there. They're going to charge him with manslaughter also because he was a part of the crime. He just robbed the store. He didn't shoot that.
Right.
In my opinion, he doesn't deserve that. But that's what went on there. The video did not work out like it was supposed to.
How old is this boy?
15.
I guess because he was underage, maybe was the other guy above age?
I
Maybe
don't
he
know.
was responsible for him. I don't.
But it doesn't. I hate that it doesn't show that.
Yeah.
They cut away from before he gets shot. Mm-hmm. He puts, and you can hear the gunfire when he sets this gun down right here. He reaches for that back pocket, and then that's when they open fire on him. And they're going to be charged with manslaughter. They're going to go up to trial on this. And
well, I mean,
you have to understand the cops' perspective also.
That's right. If you are brazen enough to rob a store with a gun, then you're unstable. I mean, you don't know what.
And your hand goes behind your back.
Right. They don't know what you're reaching for. So I mean, and I think 13 times is overkill. But I guess the adrenaline.
It was 5
if it's
cops.
like a,
is actually one of the cops is not going to be charged. One of their bullets was not a lethal shot, but the other 5 will be charged. But
that's awful.
I know it's a no-win situation because you put yourself. You would think that he's fixing to pull another gun and shoot him.
Yeah, you don't know what it is. I mean, why would you reach for a cell phone, even if that's what he was doing? Why would you do that in the middle of guns being drawn on?
Yeah.
You? I mean, if you were going to even if you said I'm reaching for my cell phone, they can't trust that. So.
I saw one, and it was I think it was Arizona. I don't have the footage, and this is just from memory. It was a guy, and this is what happens. When the police tell you to stop.
Yeah.
Well, one of the big things now that kids do is wear earphones and listen to their phones, and there's no cords. And he had his hands in his pocket, and the cop was yelling at him, "Stop!" He didn't hear him. He didn't do a robbery. The store had been robbed, and he's walking by with a hood on, and it looks like he might be the subject. Stop, and they kill him.
Oh,
and
Lord.
it's a huge lawsuit over that. And I'd have to go back and find the story. But
now that right there is,
what happens when people because that is becoming more and more common.
that happens at my house.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be hollering at my son. I'll say, come here. Like, what are you doing? Come here.
Yeah.
I need to get you.
I'm gonna have to
He's got
start
those
using that around
earbuds in.
here. So that works at your house. If I didn't hear you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I have to really yell his name to get him to hear me over those earbuds.
Does your husband Kurt use this too?
No, he don't have earbuds. I mean, he's got some. I think he used them when he worked out. But
I'm moving on up in the world. I'm going to try this. Let's see here. Have you heard about the car salesman? Now, this happened, I want to say it was Canada where it went down.
I'm out of the loop today, so I'm just getting it.
Well, if somebody's stealing something, and it's a car, we've all seen the car chases in the movies.
Yeah.
And you got to don't jump on the hood.
Well, that's just like the guy yesterday jumped on the side of the 18-wheeler
Yeah,
truck.
and rode. The guy wouldn't, but this is a car salesman. Remember, it's not your car.
Right.
There is insurance, but the old boy meant well. Here's the story of what went on with it. As for a half a mile, they're wording this. This guy comes into the car lot, acts like he's interested. This is who he is. They're asking if you've seen him. And then he jumps in the car and and the salesman, why he done it, jumps on the hood. That's him going down the highway there. And then he's thrown off. And let's go down here and see if the video. And then he almost gets hit trying to get out of the road. Let me update this thing here and see if it will show the picture of the video.
Is this the guy that was injured?
Yes.
Okay.
He walked away from it.
Yeah. This is what kills me. Have you seen this guy? And he's got like his whole face covered. How are you supposed to know if you've seen? Yeah, I've seen 15, 20 people today that look like that.
And here's the video here, and it's saying, do you know him? All right, the guy gets in the car to look at it, and now he's fishing to haul britches, as the old term goes. The next camera grabs it with the salesman on the hood. Now watch
Lord.
this. I would have got off there.
Yeah, I'd have just kind of turned loose after the first,
Yeah.
half a mile. I mean.
And then as you see, he's moving there, and it goes on up. He's still holding on the hood. And here we go. Here's another camera from another business where he's fishing to get chunked. There he goes.
So I wonder if somebody run over him.
Right here, he almost gets it.
Oh my goodness.
That was close. But he lived. He's sore. I just I cannot imagine the thought of jumping on the hood of a car.
Me either. I just can't.
Now, if it was your prized possession, you had built it for, with your own two hands, you know what I mean, restore a car. I almost would do that. But
like the one you did.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
have mercy.
Scotty Ray to be holding on for dear life.
Oh, it would be an awful feeling. I couldn't turn loose.
Oh my goodness.
But it's don't jump in front of something if it ain't necessary.
Right. Yeah.
But he did live. Here's a sad story. We've heard, remember the story that we had a few months back, not a few months, probably a month ago, where the woman had went to see her neighbor during the snowstorm and went to she was 60-something years old.
She fell and couldn't get up or something.
Here's something similar, and they just found the guy. This was in New Jersey. He had went over to his mom and dad's house to help them do something. And he tells them he's going down to get a drink out of the refrigerator in the garage. He never comes back. They look and can't find him. Well, he's been found now. And something just doesn't add up about this. Why would he leave the house, number one? But he's found next door in the neighbor's yard under, I guess, like several feet of snow. And they didn't find him until the snow melted.
Well, yeah, because, the lady who fell was elderly.
Yes.
That's one thing. Maybe she fell and couldn't get up. But.
He's 40.
Unless he fell and hit his head or something, and
but
it really doesn't seem like it adds up. Yeah,
they're digging into it. We don't know what will become of it. That story comes from Fox News this morning. But moral of the story is all that. Stay home when it's a bad snowstorm. Don't be out walking around, because that's two of those cases.
Yeah.
I mentioned this morning when hell freezes over was the headline across Fox News, and it dealt with the New York Times, because the New York Times does not like Donald Trump. They have not liked him. They've run him down every chance. But yesterday, the headline gave him half credit with Biden for the quick response on the vaccine to where he got the program started to where warp speed is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And for them, I guess it has froze over to have to give Donald Trump 50%. So if they gave him 50, he probably deserves a lot more than that.
To me, Biden didn't have a thing to do with it.
He just walked in after it was already set up.
That's right. Look, this is going to be ugly, but he couldn't find himself out of, he couldn't find his way out of a wet paper bag right now.
I understand that.
He has not been the one that implemented the vaccine.
No.
Just because the administration that he's in now has been.
But it was primarily set up.
Out there,
now, did they try to speed it up a little bit? And then that failed. They couldn't get any more than Donald was already doing. It was just set up. He didn't do anything wrong by any means. He didn't falter it to slow it down.
Right.
But it's like taking a new job and somebody already has a plan set up, and then you take credit for it 2 months later after they've quit.
Let's just put it this way. Can you imagine if nothing had been started before Trump went?
Boy.
And it was just a start from scratch type thing when the Biden administration went in. We can't get questions answered. The press secretary lady, Jen Psaki, I think that's her name, she never knows anything. So I just can't even imagine where we'd be at right now. I don't think we'd be remotely close to to having one.
We would not. And we got a story about that coming up, how they
Right.
just stopped things.
And
to
right, I
where-
mean, not that Trump was the one who made the vaccine and did all that, but he headed up the.
He pushed
You
it.
know, yeah.
He got with
did.
these companies and shut down other factories and got them
Right.
to do just that.
Yeah.
It was a quick turnaround, and all that red tape that was involved with, it take years
Oh, yeah.
to get things tested.
Yeah, he cut through the red tape and tried to get right on to the vaccine, which, from what I understand, I don't think the vaccine is FDA approved, is it?
That's some of that red tape.
I don't think it is, because it was such a quick thing. It didn't go through that. I don't think.
I did see where someone healthy passed away from it after 4 days after getting the second shot. Autopsies are underway. She seemed healthy, is the way the headline is.
One of my clients yesterday told me that right after she got it, one of her eyes drooped.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it stayed that way for a little while, and then it went back to normal, but one of her eyes drooped.
That'd make you almost think stroke type.
Yeah, and then another one of my clients said that she had problems walking on her legs. I just think it just has to do with your
Metabolism?
your
Is that the
makeup,
word?
your physical, something within your. I think everybody just, is different.
The
way
majority
they
of
react
everybody
to it.
has done okay
Yeah.
and just had some symptoms of having a little fever for the most part.
Uh-huh.
But there have been them isolated, that doctor that died, and then this
Mm-hmm.
new person who's passed away from it. And overall, I guess it is the good outweighs the bad at this
Yeah.
point.
I think that's the way they're looking at it. It still makes you kind of uneasy if you're still on the, not being able to decide whether you want to get it or not.
You're right. What was that movie that Stacey Dash was in about the
Clueless?
Clueless, yeah. Do y'all remember her?
Yeah.
She
They
went
were
on to
kind of
become
little
a
Valley Girl type,
Yeah. She went on to
Old.
become a Fox News correspondent or contributor. Maybe that's the word for it. And she took up for Trump.
Yeah,
Took a
she
red
did.
line and said, Trump's been good. Well, guess what? She joins the group that says not anymore. She goes, I'm not that person anymore.
Well, she said that she was an angry person back then. She was very angry.
And this is her.
Yeah. And that she let anger take her life over and all this stuff. Now she's just, I don't know. I watched an interview. She seemed kind of unstable acting when she was
During
speaking. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she's got a lot of stuff going on or something.
Something's going on. There's a reason for this.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of people. And, you really find out who your friends are, of who turns their back on you. He's one of the very few people that you see who's done so much good that it's almost like everybody hates him or tries to turn on him, and he's trying to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. You don't ever know, too. I mean, it could be, I'm not saying it is, but it could be simple as, she was on the conservative side. Now that the conservative side's not so popular anymore.
Jumping over to make
she's
money.
Jumping on the other side because maybe she's promised something. Who knows? I don't know.
I saw an interview about Fox News, and a lot of people have left Fox News on the conservative side because they felt betrayed by them the way they handled things. Fox News said in a statement the other day they were going to, how MSNBC kind of took that stance against Donald Trump when he was in office. That's the way they're going to take their stance against Biden to keep ratings going. But is it a little bit too late? Because Trump is not done.
Yeah, he's not done. And I just think that, I still watch like Fox in the morning. I like to watch Fox News in the morning. Yeah. And I still watch Hannity and Tucker Carlson.
I like Tucker.
But anyway, I don't like how they kind of teeter-tottered,
And they did.
They kind of like seemed like they were going against, more conservative side. And I just
And the
didn't like that.
Newsmax just doesn't reach everyone. It does a lot, but it doesn't reach everyone like Fox does. And so that hurts that viewership of everybody jumping ship.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
So that's some headlines on that. Of course, this passed, and this isn't over yet. Our great-great-grandchildren will pay for this, $1 trillion. And the more you get into this, and of course, I don't know if you saw the video of Nancy shimmering up there after it passed when she got
Up here? No, I did not see that. I saw where she was talking about open Biden. Did you see that?
No, I missed that.
You've got to go back and watch that. That is the most ridiculous mess when she was introducing Biden on it was like a virtual type thing. He was fixing to speak. That's the day they cut him off when he said, is there any questions, But she was fixing to, she was introducing him. She goes, I love, that I can introduce him as President Biden. And then she says, it's kind of like open Biden. And then she gets real giddy, acting like, she acts like she's been drinking. Like
that's your numbers right there.
Really.
Not nary Republican voted for it. Look at that. And this is, and I'm sure that there are some good things. People do need the $1,400 that are out here hurting, but there's so many other things that were included in this, and we talked about that a little bit yesterday, that doesn't deal with the pandemic. And then you go into cities that burned themselves. Do we want to pay for their mistakes and the people that went bankrupt not managing what could have been stopped?
Right.
So that's in the news today. Now, this next one, you want to talk about lucky?
Yeah.
Now, I don't watch ESPN, period, anymore because they got political. ESPN is supposed to be sports, where you go to find out what a score of a game is, what they think is going to happen. And they turned just bitterly political during this against Donald Trump. It
all started when the guy started kneeling. The Kaepernick guy, all that mess is when everything kind of started rolling. To me. This
is in the Columbia version of ESPN, and we pull this up. This is the guy down here. I'm going to blow this up to where you can see it, but this guy right here is who you want to watch. Let's go back. I think that here he is sitting there.
Look, he kind of is like, do I help him? And then like, no, I'm still on camera.
And they didn't help him. They just left him under there.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
But that was live on television when that fell over on top of that guy. Now, he ended up being not hurt. But
now, if this picture falls off the wall, hits me in the head, you better say,
I'm going to check on it.
So we're going to hold on just a minute. I got to get her out from
We'll be right back for a commercial break. But, wow.
I'm glad he's okay, though. I don't see how he is okay because it looked like it slammed his head into the thing.
But he made it out of that, and that's ESPN. But again, I really cannot watch ESPN anymore.
I never really watch it anyway, unless I was watching a ball game and they
put it on ESPN2, Mississippi State. That's the only way you can get it.
Well, I wasn't watching Mississippi State.
Oh, so who is your team?
No, I would watch Alabama sometimes, but
one of those Alabama people against Mississippi State. So now we know. But that's what went on with that. Now, I've done this, I have to admit, at red lights. I used to work with a gentleman who was in his 30s that real shy. We'd go through a drive-through, and I had to introduce him to every woman at the thing, trying to help him out because there are people that just don't know how to approach the opposite sex to get a date.
Yeah.
And you pull up to a red light, there's a pretty woman, I'll roll down a window in a heartbeat and introduce him to him.
I think Scotty Ray needs a matchmaking show. I think that's what he's really wanting to do.
Well, I fixed you up.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I fixed my mother-in-law up. She's been married. That one lasted 30 years. So
that's good.
I'm pretty good at this.
But you do have to watch because he'll snap a picture of you talking when you least expect it and send that. It's like, this is her.
Yeah.
And I'll be in the middle like that's what I'd look like. I think the picture you took was.
Did it?
I really looked like something was wrong with me. That was not a good.
You have to give one of those honest shots. You can't get one of them Facebook pictures to where they've taken a profile picture and touched it up, made them. Then you meet them, you go,
I
who
know.
are you?
I felt like I was 12. This is her.
But you didn't even know I'd done that until
I didn't,
later.
But anyway, it worked out.
But it must have been okay because he wanted to meet you after I shot the picture of you.
Yeah, that was good.
But I can too. There's hope for you. I can help most anybody. But this story is about a mother who pulls up at a red light, and her daughter's over there, and she thinks, I guess the boy at the red light is cute, so the mom rolls down the window, and the daughter just bails to the bottom of the seat. Let's pull this up. Okay. This is her sitting in the car from the dash cam, and then this is her climbing under. Let me see if let me hit this and see if it'll replay the video of it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, when you play these videos from here. All right, let's see here. Maybe, maybe not. I don't guess so. It's going to work this time. It didn't pull up.
Here it is. Yeah. My daughter would kill me.
Stop. Mom! Stop! Stop! Go! Stop! Mom!
So,
I can't imagine.
would you do that?
No, I wouldn't do that to my daughter. They always embarrassed me in the drive-through when I would have both my girls in the car. We'd go through the drive-through somewhere, and they'd be like, if it was somebody on the other end that had an accent or something, they'd always come back with talking to them with the same accent. You know, I would just be so embarrassed. Or in Cracker Barrel, I remember I took them there. I thought we were going to get kicked out one day. Because, I mean, they were just steadily. But they were the ones embarrassing me most of the time.
Am I the only man that ever tried to help you get a husband? I'm worried now.
But talking about like the embarrassing thing, I remember when I was a teenager and we would go to the skating rink.
I never went.
You didn't go to we went to the carousel skating rink. And I remember we would all, like, each weekend, my parents would, or my mama would take turns with another friend's mom, and they'd drop us off one time. We would always say, like, now don't pull up to the door. Just drop us off way down here so we can just walk down. Because we had this big Oldsmobile car that was had the pleather seats, you know, and stuff.
Kind of embarrassed.
I was embarrassed. I don't know. I guess we all were embarrassed as teenagers. I don't know. We went through that thing, but I do remember that. Just don't pull up to the door, you know. So I would have died if my mama would have done something like that.
Well, see, at least you got to go. They didn't have that in Scuba on Saturday night.
Well, y'all should have come to Meridian. I know that's a long way, though.
Entertainment back then was taking a spotlight and shining it at a street light, making a street lamp go out, thinking it was daylight.
Oh.
And you had to get down the street to get them all out, black them out. That was what we done for entertainment on Saturday night.
We'd jump on the back of the mail truck or mail Jeep. That's what it was, a little Jeep. And my grandmother's,
back in those days?
Yeah, neighborhood, and we'd ride down the street. He would never know we were back there.
Let's take a minute and talk about Joe out at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. A great new selection this week of things that are on sale that you can take advantage of for all your grocery shopping. Of course, the what did I say? The fesh
celery stick.
Yeah, that's right. $1.49 a stalk this week. If you need some of those, you can call them whatever you want.
Yeah.
They'll still get them for you. Fresh tomatoes, $1.59 a pound, along with white onions, 79 cents a pound. You can also get that Piggly Wiggly barbecue sauce, the 18-ounce bottle, for $1. Let's see here. You can get the tomato ketchup, 2 for 49. This is great if you're going to be making hot dogs and hamburgers, because we got all the condiments on sale this week.
People start cooking out. The weather starts warming up. They'll start cooking out.
89 cents for mustard. Look at there. Get your own bottle to yourself.
Yeah.
And, of course, the hamburger dill pickles, $1.79. You can get the Devil's Piggly Wiggly cake mixes for $1. 16-ounce thing.
Devil's food cake. You ever had that?
No, I've never had it. Is it
it's
good?
Real rich chocolatey. Like,
You have to make one. We'll try it.
Yeah.
We'll do a little test run. If you need some cream cheese, 2 for $6. Also, the spread, 48% of vegetable oil mixed in with that, 45-ounce bottle. Jug is what I'm trying to say. I get tongue-tied some days. $1.99. And, of course, the granulated sugar, $1.99. And bacon. Who doesn't love brine bacon?
I know.
$3.29 for that 12-ounce package. And along with the ribeyes, the strips, that New York strips, $6.99 a pound. You can get the $4.99 chuck roast along with the Coca-Cola products and also great pricing on water. It's all there at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. Drop in and see Joe. You'll be glad that you did. You'll save money and take advantage of everything that's going on at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville.
The carnage is coming to your town. The All-Star Monster Truck Tour. See the biggest and wildest monster trucks do battle on a huge course. Plus, see the monsters up close, enjoy the kids' fun zone, and take a ride on a real monster truck. Kids' tickets are just $10, and adults can save up to 60% on tickets. Don't wait. Earlier you buy, the more you save. Get your discounts by clicking here now.
And it's coming this weekend to why not? Drop in and see riding. And it is fun. Have you ever climbed in one?
No, but that's what I said. I bet that'd be fun riding in one.
It is.
They'd have to strap you in, though, because when them things flip over.
Yeah, now, of course, they do the rides of the one that goes a little bit slower. Everybody can ride the back. But riding in one, that jumping, it's just like a race car. You're bound. But fun.
I bet it would be.
So as we mentioned, Joe is still very good at this, and Kamala done it one day this week when she was asked a question. She just walked away.
Yeah.
But Joe here, he's not going to take questions at the end of this where you walk through the hardware store. Nada.
Well, I think it's obvious to everybody that he could not answer questions that are just thrown at him. And the stuff that he does say is all, I mean, you can tell he's reading it. Then he's having a hard time reading it sometimes.
Well, this makes sense now that because I caught part of Hannity yesterday, and he was talking about how Joe goes into resting, and they felt like a lot of people were saying all the speech that you were saying he's going to give is going to be bad. It won't be because, like the presidential election, he takes 4 or 5 days off, rehearses, and
this is so ridiculous to me, though. That I mean, I just. These people knew this when they had him running for president. They knew, because I thought that as president, you have to go through a medical screening. You have to make sure that you're physically okay to run for president.
I don't know.
I think you do. And so they knew this, and they withheld this information and allowed him to go anyway. And I think they should be held accountable for that, because now we have a president that is not up to par.
I think what they would do, though, is agree with you and go, yes, Joe needs to step aside now.
Oh, yeah, I know they do. But they went into this, though, putting him in there. And to me, that is totally wrong. It's crooked. It's
you don't say.
I mean, it is. It's crooked, and everybody knows it. But I just think there should be some kind of an accountability for that. They should have to. I mean, something should be done about it.
There has been so much crookedness go on in this country in the last 20 years that it is scary. And on both sides of the parties now. Right. It is some...
Because, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if he can't answer questions from people, how is he going to go to another country and meet with other leaders and sit there face to face? He can't do that.
If you've been seeing some of the headlines, Kamala, if that's how you say her name, has been holding phone conversations with other countries.
Yeah.
That day is coming that he will no longer be president. He's a front. And he's not making a decision now. We all know that.
I really wish that when our governor was on with Jake Tapper the other day, and he just point blank asked him, did he agree that it was a legitimately the election of Joe Biden being elected was legitimate. I wish he'd have said no.
No, he's not going to say that.
I mean, I really wish he would have said and went into saying how,
it would have been the end of his political career.
Well,
and there's absolutely no way he would do that.
I just, it's a sham. It's a big sham is what it is.
They look out for one another. But, he's got his own issues when it comes to re-election, when it comes in, 3 years now. We'll see who remembers and who doesn't. Lindsey Graham has sent out what you would call the warning for America. And I really do think this is a problem because you see it in other countries all the time. And this is Lindsey Graham pointing out what this is of Al-Qaeda will send these children in with bombs and other bad things into city.
Yeah.
We don't know what's sneaking in.
There's absolutely no limits to
what they will do to get their way.
That people will go to. The extent.
They could be. It may not be bombs. It could be diseases that they infect a child with to send them into a country. We don't
drugs
know.
Too. I mean, they probably full of strapped on drugs or something. You never know. I mean, these poor kids.
They are the ones that suffer.
They are, and they're innocent children. It just kills me. It does. It breaks my heart.
Arkansas stands up for something now, and we have to give them kudos on this as we cross that state line and go over there. The governor there is signing a bill that will ban all abortions except when it comes to saving a mother's life. That's a bold move. That's not done definitely anywhere out of the South anymore.
Well, somebody needs to stand up and make a bold move.
Yeah, they do.
It needs to be a lot of people stand up and be bold about a lot of things.
So thumbs up to Arkansas this morning for doing that. And, of course, we'll see what will happen there is she's going to run in, 2 years in 2022?
Who?
Sarah Huckabee?
Oh, yeah.
She'll run for Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he's retiring. Maybe he's put in his 2 terms because I'm not familiar with this governor.
Okay.
But we'll see if I think Sarah will win it. I really do. I think she come off as a lot of people liking her.
I think all government offices that people run for, I think that they are positions. I think everything needs a term limit.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Across the board. I think
Congress,
whether it's
Senate.
In a town as a mayor, I think whether it be a governor of a state, a president, I mean, everything needs a term limit.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're stuck with somebody that sometimes is not up, doing the job. So.
Been there 50 years,
Right.
and well, we all know how that turns out.
Yeah.
So, I would back that motion, but they have to vote on it. This is where it doesn't get right, where they can vote on it to stop that, vote on themselves of the term limit.
I'm
Why not let
surprised
the
they
American
hadn't got rid
people?
of term limits for president. They've done everything else so they can keep,
Yeah.
But
if you figure out other ways to hold the election the way you want, then that's not a problem.
right. Yeah. As we just saw.
Just thoughts. I don't listen to this kind of music, so I know the name and that's it. But another person has been hushed. And this guy was, there's 4 members of this Mumford and Sons. His dad is really rich, and he praised a right-wing book, and he has now been told to step back from the band. He needed to take time off. He's been canceled, is what has happened. He's the banjo player for that group. And then he did issue a thing, an apology, and everybody steps back and takes back what they said in the beginning. Stand up, be a man, brother.
Yeah. I'm just so. Last night I watched a thing about the Jeremy Capel guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who he was a weatherman. And he
Easy to follow if you want to watch his show. He
Right.
does something similar to what we do.
Right. Anyway, he was talking, we've seen the video.
Yeah.
He was talking, doing the weather, and he was, I think, trying to state where something was weather-wise in a town or
Right.
something. And he, kind of like Scotty Ray will do, areas, it's located here, it's here. Anyway, he said a wrong word just because he jumbled his words together.
Yeah.
And it just, it come out wrong, and
He corrected it.
right, and it sounded like a racial slur, but it was not meant
was an
as
honest
that. It was
mistake.
an honest mistake. They fired him. Well, last night they were on and they were talking about and this was a white man that this happened to. Last night, the same thing happened. I want to say the same word with a black man.
Did he lose his
He
job?
did not lose his job. He's still there.
The mayor of the town where that went on with him demanded that he be fired,
Yeah,
and he was.
I just think that is so ridiculous. I mean, and this family lost everything pretty much. Not saying completely, but it really.
Your income.
I mean, that was his
Bread and butter.
job, and they have children, and people when they start canceling people just because they think that they don't agree with something. This was an honest mistake. This was not like a blatantly yelled out, called out.
No matter what
Slur.
color you are, you're going to make a mistake.
Right.
We all do. And we have to be a forgiving society, if I said that correctly. So
I just
our
think
thoughts are with them.
Yeah, it is. I just think it's horrible. But anyway, things happen. Accidents happen. People need to be a little, like you said, more forgiving.
They do.
All this cancel culture mess needs to go.
It does.
It just needs to go. It's ridiculous. Like I said, these people who act like they wear their feelings on their sleeve and they can't take any kind of criticism at all. I just think it's crazy. Like I said, raise your kids to know that at some point you're going to be criticized.
You are.
You have to have a backbone and be able to take some criticism.
You have to be able to brush things off.
Right.
And go.
I mean, but that's the society that we live in, I guess.
But if you want to watch him, he's easy to find on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alaska becomes the first state to offer the COVID vaccine to 16 years old. That's it's been. What age are we in Mississippi now? Is it still in the 40s and 50s? Is it moving to everybody now?
I think it is. It's like the other day, the last I heard, it was like in the 50s, I think.
Okay,
So
so
I'm not sure if it's been lowered now. And I don't know what they're saying really about children. Have you heard anything about
no, I have not.
children?
If they need it or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But 16 is the lowest we've seen across the United States of being able to get it.
Yeah.
This governor is very, I guess you could say, liberal in her things. And if you'll look at the title of this story, and the Daily Mail carried this, where it says she could, and the word here is could face criminal charges over her handling of COVID deaths. I don't think she ever will.
So it's kind of like the Andrew Cuomo type thing. I think she should if she did the same. I mean, what did she do? Did she put them in facilities like he did?
It had something to do with
nursing
nursing homes. Now, his is blatant.
Right.
Of hide the numbers.
Right.
I'm not sure hers are that way, but his definitely was. And as we mentioned yesterday, those family members demanding that he give up the the money that he makes from the book. And no one seems to really know when the book deal was signed. Was it during that time or after it? Definitely, you would think one was trying to cash in on that.
Yeah.
Watch. This goes to families. Know what your family is doing. Make sure you know who they're dating. Because you can be letting your daughter or your son, it goes either way, date a wacko. And this is the case here. Ex-boyfriend held a hostage family for 17 hours in Maine. And I think one of the people slipped out, got away, and they notified the police, and it was a standoff for 17 hours.
Gosh.
But I think everybody turned out okay on that. He was taken out.
Says that he accused her father of incest.
Yeah, just a nut.
Yeah.
Mentally. But they took him out at the end, and the family members were okay.
I guess you never know how somebody is, like if they're kind of like that, But I mean, I've always said you can kind of sometimes look at somebody's Facebook page.
Tells a lot.
Look at what they post and their pictures and stuff. It kind of gives you a little hint as to what they might.
If they're on the extreme, they're on anything.
Well, my kids were like. My kids think I'm so overbearing, I know, but they're like, if they started dating somebody, I'm like, what's their name? What's their parents' name? And they're like, Mom, I know you're going to look them up on Facebook, Because there was one guy that one of my daughters dated, and I told my ex-husband, I was like, have you looked at his profile page?
Well, you have to do
like,
background investigation.
Well, no. I'm like, well, you should.
Anybody investigate Kurt before you married him?
I don't think so, but
They were like, oh, good.
of course I did. I
Checked him out.
did. I had to stalk his page.
Oh boy, I bet that's a different world of having to do all that nowadays.
Oh,
You
gosh.
do.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I don't understand why some people post what they post.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. Like
if somebody post a bunch of knitting stuff, that probably wouldn't be a good thing to do. Just knitting all the time.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
No, what I'm saying is hobbies is what I really mean by that.
Yeah.
Because it does show what people's hobbies are. And if your hobbies don't fit theirs, it's not going to change overnight. You cannot change. The moral of the story is you can't change somebody to make them what you want. They are what they are.
Right.
They may change for a month or two to make you happy, but they're going back to what they used to do. Some way, somehow.
Yeah, there was one picture, I think, with this one guy that was my daughter was wanting to go, was kind of had gone out with or whatever, and this is the one I was talking about. It was a picture on his page of it was like a little depicted kind of like cartoon type thing. Well, it was a girl out in a sinking boat, and she's like screaming, help me, He's walking out of the water with a case of beer. So he saved his beer and left the girl. I'm like, probably not who I want my daughter to date.
I'm going to miss her.
Probably not
when
a winner.
I get home tonight.
Yeah.
In another story this morning, Winston Churchill, we all know who he is, and this is low. I figured this would sell for so much more. His cigar box is going up for auction with the little thing that you cut the end of the cigar off with his name on it, and it's only expected to bring $13,800. With Winston Churchill attached to it, I would have thought that would have fetched a pretty big penny. But,
you would think.
But apparently not. So, do you own anything from a celebrity, somebody famous? Did you?
No, I did have, the lady in Bewitched. What was her name?
Samantha?
Montgomery.
Elizabeth Montgomery?
Yeah, my daddy worked for the railroad, and she actually was on one of the Amtrak trains that he was coming home from. He went to New Orleans and back. She was on the train, and he got her signature one time, and it was like on a paper plate or something, I don't know, or a napkin, and I've lost it. Oops. But I thought, that's really the only thing I ever really owned from a celebrity.
And I've come close to buying a couple of times. Jimmy Stewart is like the ultimate actor, a good guy. Of course, was in so many movies. There, just a plain spoken. I want his autograph, and I've looked several times. I've come real close to buying one and framing that from eBay because that's on there. You can buy this stuff, and I may break down and do that one day.
Yeah, he was a good actor. I love to listen to him talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was none other quite like. And if you dig back, you can't find any dirt on this guy. He gave up his acting career to go join the military.
I did not know that.
Fought. And it wasn't like he just took a position. No, he went and fought. Everybody that was under his command, he called their families, each and every one of them, when they would die. He flew in the bombing missions. He didn't just sit back. He went with them. This guy was and he served up until way up in age.
Did he
and
go
still
back
active.
into acting after
Yeah,
that?
he was active.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy Stewart, I mean, it just really, you can't ask for, he is, when you look up the definition of a great American, in my opinion, that's him. And I want one of those. I'm going to get one day. I just hadn't done it yet. When we get ready for mowing grass, where do we go? Freeman Tractor. Drop it and see Cole or Buttermilk. They're there. They're going to help you pick out a lawnmower. That's, well, good for your family. What's good for your yard? Save you money on top of it. Starting as low as $29.99, and that's a bargain when it comes to a zero-turn lawnmower. A great brand, Exmark. If you've never used one, go by for a test drive. I know you see them in other places, but this is an Exmark starting at this.
And I'm sure they have residential grade, commercial
do.
grade. You know, so if you have a business in your grass cutting, they have
That's
something
right.
for you.
And they'll take care of you, get you in and out when you need something worked on there. And, of course, Skag, that's a step up. That's a really, really nice lawnmower. Boy, these seats that they've got on here now, if you've got a yard that feels like a pasture, you will love this.
Like shocks.
Yeah, exactly. It'll bounce you to death if you don't.
I know.
Skag, one of the best there is. See them for that. And they're starting as low as, what's that price? $46.99 can get you into a Skag starting there. See them. And, of course, we have cab tractors, air conditioning. If you're needing one, an open cab with a bucket is wonderful. You can pick up a lot of things. Bush hog attachments on the front. You can get whatever you're looking for when it comes to, well, a 5 or 6 foot bush hog. Galvanized on top of that where it won't rust. And bat wings, got to have those. Disc, we've got blades, we've got forks. All of this plus the new line of benches that are made in Texas. They'll finance them for you, take care of it. You can get them with cab air if you want it. See the 550s there, maybe the 750 suits you. Test drive them. Many different colors to choose from, all at Freeman Tractor. Again, see Cole or Buttermilk. They'll help you up there on Highway 494. Turn left off of Highway 19 all the way down there, and it'll be a good experience.
And they also carry the blades for your lawnmowers too. So if you have to replace the blades, and like I said the other day, I recommend you get 2 sets because that way you always have an extra ready to
keep
go.
right on going.
Right. Right.
But again, we want to say thank you to each and every one of you for stopping by today and spending time with us as we travel into this Thursday. Before you know it, it's going to be on into a Friday, and the end of the weekend is coming. Great weather.
Yeah, that'll be good. So if you want to get out and plant some stuff, Sunday you'll get to have it watered because we're going to get a little bit of rain, right?
Yeah, late Sunday into Monday next week we've got rain, but the weekend looks great to do what you got to do. Flower beds here, and it's great for planting your flowers because you'll get a little rain after that.
Yeah.
To make them grow.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh, Sue Hamner, Roll Tide." I guess that's meant for you there.
Yeah, I like Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
But y'all look, and like Lauderdale County Co-op also has the sod, you know.
Yeah.
So if you have some bare spots in your grass, go get you some sod today.
Yeah,
or
that'll
this
take care of it.
weekend. And with the rain and everything, it'll be perfect.
But
Putting
yeah,
that
great
out.
timing.
That's
on
what
that.
I need to do this weekend. I really do.
Well, get on it, girl. Well, we appreciate you dropping by. Scotty Ray and Candace will be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 8:30 to tell you all what's going on in and about. And I'm always here to do the weather for you in between now and then.
Y'all have a good day.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by